welcome to another exciting episode of TEVAdrive, one of our most exciting episodes yet, because we have this 2024 Kia EV9 finally being tested this week. So we thought we'd start right here on a beautiful Georgian Bay lakefront, waterfront, during a gorgeous sunset. And so here it is in all of its glory, GT line. This car here starts at around 55,000 for a rear-wheel drive. 59,000 will be for a upgraded rear-wheel drive. 65 is the lowest all-wheel drive version, the base version, which is a 7-seater. Then come the premium packages and GT line packages. This one here is an all-wheel drive GT line, and the GT line package is worth 14 grand, added to the 64 grand all-wheel drive drivetrain, which is 380 horsepower, 98 kilowatt-hour battery, and you've got about 80 grand plus delivery charges, around 81 plus tax. You can also get the base model here, rear-wheel drive with a smaller battery, which is about 78 kilowatt hours, but this one here has the larger 98 kilowatt hours. Beautiful design, very modern, unlike anything else on the road, so it's very distinct. Let us quickly show you the interior. So we're gonna go into the wide angle here. There we go. You have the self-presenting handles here, like in the Tesla and a few other cars, both front and rear. Very spacious interior with dual sunroofs. The front one opens, the rear one is fixed. This is a 6-seat configuration with the captain's chair in the middle row. I'll demonstrate how they work in a moment. We've got the EV9 logo here. Wonderful leather seats with leather wrapped steering wheel. We're at 100%, showing 434 kilometers range. We're in a mud mode now. In eco it was showing about 464 because we're kind of on a grassy area, so we turn on the mud, and you can change those modes here. Drive mode is on the left, terrain mode is on the right. A very similar dashboard to all the other Kia, Hyundai and Genesis cars. Much bigger center console here with 2 cup holders. There's a wireless phone charger here and a lot of storage underneath here. Another shelf for storage down there. Lots of USB charging ports. So some buttons here. These ones are reminiscent of the Nissan Ariya, which are built into the dashboard with some haptic feedback. Other than that, it's very similar. The gear shifter is right here, and the on button is right here as well. So you have the standard D and R and P configuration. To park, you press this button here, and then to start, there's your start button is right there. On the multifunction steering wheel, you have all the auto steer and adaptive cruise control controls here on the left hand side, and entertainment and verbal command controls on the right. You can change the dashboard display using the menu button here and the scroll bar here. In terms of what it's gonna display in the center, we are always keeping it on the current trip statistics, but again, it follows all the other cars. Beautiful LED lighting, I can see. We changed it because some of you complained that it was at red and blue, so we changed it into white lighting. So right now you can see the LED lighting here. It continues on the dashboard here, all the way underneath here, all the way to the other end. Beautiful LED lighting, and here in the door pockets as well. And here's the back. So we're gonna get in the back so to give you an idea of the space in the back of the car. We will not be venturing into the third row because, being a rather tall person, as with most 3-row SUVs, this is a little bit too tight for me. So here's the seating. The captain's chair is the 6-seat version, which comes in the premium package and the GT line package. In order to get a 7-seat configuration with a bench in the second row, you have to go with the base model. Then you don't get those beautiful dual sunroofs. So in order to activate the access, you press this button here, Seat moves forward and forward, and the seat back reclines. Here's your reseating and arrangements. Not exactly very spacious, but 6 adults can travel here. Maybe not for extended periods of time, but and then you press it again and the seat returns to its original position. And then you can move the seat forward and we can recline. Similarly, the controls for the third row seats are located here on the wall, and you can adjust your the seat back as well, reclining front and back. You can see, there you go. So you can recline quite a bit, and now it's going forward. There you go. And so the bottom of the seat does not move, it's fixed. And now let us show you how the full reclining of second and third row works, and that can be done from the trunk. So let us show you that option. The beautiful LED lighting in the back. It's not equipped with the foot swipe option like this, but it is equipped with the intelligent hatch, like most Kia, Hyundai, Genesis cars. If you approach it with a key in your back, as you approach it and you stand and wait for a few seconds, it's going to automatically open the gate. Now, because the car is on already, it will not do that. So let us show you the trunk. Excuse the dirt, we were transporting some items that were not very clean, but anyways, so let us show you the 4 buttons here. First of all, let's press on the second row. There you go. The second row is folding. Now, for whatever reason, the right hand side seat will not fold for some reason, and then for your third row you have these 2 buttons here, and here they are folding. There we go. So basically, I'm not sure why this right hand side seat does not fall forward. What you can do, however, is pull this red handle here to fold them flat manually, and we did. And we were transporting some very big IKEA items here, 2 meters long boxes, which fit in the back of the car, no problem. The charge port, finally, let's close the gate. And let us show you the charge port. In order to open it, it's a power opening for the, excuse my finger, it's the power opening of the charge port, and you have the CCS and you have J1772. Very soon they'll be replaced with Tesla NACS plug, and initially the Hyundai Kia Genesis will provide an adapter from Tesla to be able to use superchargers, and then later on, as of next year sometime, 2025, at some point they'll just will be installing Tesla plugs here for to be compatible with Tesla plugs and Tesla fast chargers. That's how you close it. There you go. All right, so that's about it for the walk around. Let us give you one more look quickly of this gorgeous car, very spacious. One last look at the Georgian Bay sunset as well. All right, and next up we're gonna take you for a spin and give you the rundown of our test results, including hypermile and highway test, which happened in the rather coldish weather, single digits temperatures with the rain, cold and nasty headwind. So that affected our results somewhat, but anyways, it'll be maybe interesting for you to hear how this vehicle fared, being a rather large 3-row, almost full-size SUV for 6 or 7 passengers with 380 horsepower. And yeah, so stay tuned. We'll take you for a spin next. We almost forgot to show you the frunk. The car, as with all the with all the Hyundai, Kia, Genesis cars. It's equipped with a frunk that you open. It's hydraulics, nice hydraulics. Here's the pouch for the charging cables, and here's the frunk. It's a decent sized frunk, definitely enough to put the cables, maybe tire repair kit, and some other small items like a briefcase or so. Okay, so that's about it. Let's jump in now to take you for a quick spin. Okay, so here we are inside a 2024 Kia EV9 GT line. This is right now the top of the line EV9 with 380 horsepower, 99.8, let's call it 100 kilowatt hour battery. And we just attended 2 events from the Earth Month and Earth Day. Yesterday was meet up with the Fisker people, today with the Rivian people. So we'll have some sections of that hopefully in our video as well. And right now we just wanted to give you the final kind of summary, take you for a spin in this car and tell you about the results of our highway and side road consumption test results. We did not really do any fast charging tests. Yes, we did a couple of fast charging sessions, but they were all at a high state of charge, so they wouldn't count anyways. And we decided to stop doing these speed tests for charging because the chargers are very inconsistent in terms of the power delivery. All we can tell you is that this biggest Kia battery so far, 99.8 kilowatt hour battery, can be charged according to specs from 10 to 80% in 24 minutes, which is a little bit longer than the 18 minutes on the smaller battery on the other EGMP cars, but it's still pretty good. It's one of the fastest charging cars out there for sure. So this is the EV9. It will be followed by Ioniq 7 or Ioniq 9. We don't know yet. Same 3-row style. And also GV90 Genesis, the luxury version of those 2 cars. But those won't be coming until next year sometime. For now, this is the only one in the Kia, Genesis, and Hyundai group that's available in the 3-row, and it's a wonderful car. And so quickly, we'll just show you right now. As you can see, we're in eco mode, 99% of the battery, showing 444 kilometer range, which is above the rated 435 kilometers of range. And we'll tell you about the consumption test that we did just now. We have on the current trip meter. Okay, no need to go over the menus because we went through it previously. We just wanted to point out some items that are different in this car, besides the 3rd row and lots more space and bigger size. This whole center console is fixed, but it has lots of storage. First of all, there's a storage here a little bit. Sorry about the garbage. And we have the wireless phone charger here. We have the auto hold button, the heel holder button, the parking cameras button, and auto park here. 2 cup holders here. By the way, there's like a little, you can close it off as well. There's a nice sliding cover for it. Big shelf at the bottom below there. And there's also a big shelf for the rear passengers. There's 2 cup holders for the 2nd row passengers here. And a big storage compartment that slides. You can close it. Little tablet and lots of storage there. For the 2nd row passengers, and similarly the 3rd row passengers have their own cup holders. We can show the seat adjustment with including in this GT line. There's the part of the seat that kind of you can recline and open for the bottom for your like a footrest basically, which also exists for the front passengers, surprisingly enough, including the driver. There is a kind of a footrest that unfolds. But anyways, no need to show it to you. You know how it works. Beautiful beige and gray interior for this light blue color on the exterior, which matches nicely. There is an opening sunroof. Let us show you here. So we love the opening sunroofs. There we go. That's only how much it goes, but it's good enough for sun tanning, and we did on a nice warm day. We drove with the sunroof open. Of course, it has a tilt function and it has a manual shade. There you go. And then the rear part of the sunroof is fixed for the 2nd row, but it has an electric blind. There you go. So let's not close it. So it's an electric blind control through here. All the vents are in the ceiling. You can turn them open and then adjust them. You have the similar vents in the ceiling for the second row and the same one for the third row in the back. So we showed you previously the seating arrangements in the third row. There's also, maybe you can show there's a blind, there's a sunshade for the second row windows. There you go. It's a manual sunshade, but it's nice to have. Not the easiest to put on. That's okay. Yeah, well, that's fine. We can just show that it's there. And we did a test for the third row space. And the tall person like us between 190 to 195 centimeters. It's a tight squeeze, but it's possible. So 6 adults can be seated here comfortably. And we did mention that there is a 7-seater version with a second row bench, but that's only available in the base model. If you're going to upgrade it to a premium package or a GT line package, basically it's going to be only a 6-seater with the captain's chairs in the second row. The GT line also has a better acceleration. The base all-wheel drive, even though the same horsepower of 380 horses, the GT line gets more torque, allowing it to improve the acceleration from 0 to 100. Instead of 6 seconds, you get a 5.3 seconds acceleration here on the GT line. And there will be a real GT version coming with over 600 horses, most likely at some point next year. So we'll be looking forward to testing that version. Although, do you really need a high-powered SUV? Yes, we did drive, and there's an EQS AMG. There is an iX60M, which we test drove on the same road. We launched it here. But do you really need it in a family hauler? I'm not sure. You let us know what you think about it. So the competition right now is the Rivian R1S, which is about 30 grand more. This is 80,000 as spec right now. So again, base all-wheel drive 65 plus the $15,000 roughly a GT line package that brings it to about just over 80,000, where the least expensive Rivian starts at 112. So at about $32,000 more, you can almost get another EV for the difference. Specs are similar. Both of them have a rated range of 435 kilometers. This is a 100 kilowatt hour battery on the Rivian because it's heavier. It needs a bigger battery of about 105 kilowatt hours. There is a smaller battery on the base version of this, which is 78 kilowatt hours. We recommend that for this size of vehicle, you do need a long range battery for sure. We'll tell you why in a moment based on our consumption test. The Rivian has 2 other batteries as well. So the base is 105, is around 148 or so. Here, the 100 kilowatt hour battery, we believe it's sufficient for the size and weight of the car. And it's slightly smaller than the Rivian. And that translates into less space for the third row passengers, but the trunk with the third row up, the trunk space here is actually larger. So it's even though it's a slightly shorter vehicle than the Rivian R1S, the trunk space is actually a little bit more here with the third row up. Okay, that being said, let's take you for a quick spin. So the same gear shifter as all the other Hyundais. Okay, so here we go. We're in drive. We can show you again, as with most of the other Kia, Genesis, Hyundai cars, in order to get, you have the shift pedals here, and in order to get to the I pedal or the one pedal driving, you have to press on the left shift pedal twice. So 1, 2, and you have the I pedal showing up here on the main dashboard. We turned the sound effects on so you can hear them, but you can turn them off. So we drove most of the time without the sound effects, and now we have them at maximum, so you can have them lower down or you can delete them altogether. And the car is pretty quiet, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna leave it on so you can hear those effects. We did a quick reel with those sound effects before. And they are not dependent on the mode, so you adjust the volume of the sound effects using the center screen. So for example, now we're in eco mode, and you can see how it affects the range. So in eco mode, we're at 447 kilometers when full. When we switch drive modes, which you do basically through here, you have the drive mode button here and you have the terrain mode button here. So drive mode, first of all, you have normal now at 438 kilometers. So down about 10 kilometers, and then in sport, you are down to 425. So not a huge difference. You know, it's about 20 kilometers difference between sport and eco. Of course, we don't have the climate on. So as soon as you turn the climate on, so let's have a look. So the minimum range at full, at least estimated by the gasometer here in the car, if we turn on the climate, we're down to 410. So just above 400 in sport mode with the climate on. And today it's not a very warm day, it's +8. It's nice and sunny, but it's only +8 degrees with a nasty northwesterly wind, which affected our range coming here to the meetup, the Rivian meetup at the Milton Chargers. So you can hear hopefully those sounds, artificial engine sounds. They're kind of nice. You don't have different options like with Mercedes and BMWs. You have a couple of different sounds composed by some famous composers. It's not the case here. This is just the one sound, and you can just adjust the volume. And it's not dependent on the drive mode. So we'll keep it in, actually we'll turn off the climate because we didn't really need it. It's nice and sunny, so let's turn it off, save the battery, boom, it's off. And you have the very limited buttons here, and also here on the kind of similar idea to the Nissan Ariya. They're part of this decking here, I guess. And there's 1, 2, 3, 6 buttons here. You have home, map, search, media, programmable button, and the setup button here. Let's take you on the highway for a little bit to demonstrate the HDA2 Highway Driving Assist 2nd generation, which allows for hands-free or almost hands-free driving with adaptive cruise and auto lane keeping and auto lane change. So here, because this is the top of the line, you have the surround cameras, of course, which help you parking. You can also use your key fob to move the car forward and backwards when you're in tight parking, tight parking situations. So we're gonna set the adaptive cruise is here, auto steer is here on the steering wheel. Let's adjust to highway speed. You adjust it up and down using this button here. There's a crazy pickup truck driver behind us, of course. We're in the suburbs of Toronto, and a lot of crazy pickup drivers, of course, to be expected. Let's just get into our lane. Okay, so for now, we have to turn on, there we go. It's in auto steer right now. We'll set it to slightly above the speed limit just to follow traffic. And let's, once we have a clear lane, there we go, boom, auto lane change. No, there's a car coming. There's a car coming, so it canceled auto change because it felt there was a car coming. So let's do it again. Let's try again. You can see it in the head-up display. You can see it here. Keep hands on the steering wheel. And it's changing lane all by itself. I had to correct it because it was changing it too fast for my comfort, getting too close to the car. So as soon as it feels that you have the hand on and applying pressure, it'll cancel the auto lane change. But it works quite well when you have enough space and around you without too many other vehicles. It works quite well. For example, now we can get back to the right lane. There you go. Oh. Oh. There is another car coming on the right lane, so we'll just leave it there. We'll keep our hands on the steering wheel. So anyways, it works quite well. We basically drove from Toronto to Barrie with very few interventions of the steering wheel. So let's try it again. There you go, auto lane change. You do it by pressing the indicator. It reminds you to keep your hands on the steering wheel. And there you go. And we're gonna exit here because otherwise it's gonna be a much longer test drive. So anyways, a very useful feature, the HDA2 with auto lane change. You know, the car has a lot of the safety features included, you know, with blind spot monitoring of all kinds. You can also use the auto steer without the adaptive cruise, in which case it'll help you steer even though you're adjusting the speed manually. So you can use those two systems independently, which is kind of nice. Gives you more options. So like right now we're gonna see we have a manual speed and then it's still auto steering. We'll turn it off for now because we don't need it. But anyway, so let's just quickly tell you about the results of our highway and hypermile test. So first of all, on the way north, using the 400 highway, we had a consumption between 25 to 26 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is not bad. It's actually in line with the Mercedes EQE SUV AMG that we drove the previous week. But remember that that one is much more aerodynamic. This car is a big SUV, much bigger than the EQE, and it's a brick in terms of the aerodynamics. And you know, you've got a very vertical front, so not surprising that we had a similar kind of consumption between 25 to 26 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Today, and with a nasty headwind, the consumption on the highway was even up to about 30 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. The lowest consumption during our hypermile using Highway 27 returning to Toronto was down to about 19 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And remember that the battery size here, the gross is almost 100, 99.8. The net, we estimate it's around 96. The Hyundai doesn't really quote the net size. A lot of reviewers estimated it should be around 96. Based on that, you know, the 435 kilometers range is not really highway. Unless you drive exactly 100, maybe 105, then you should be able to obtain the 435 range, but and you can do more than that even if you use the side roads driving below 100 kilometers an hour. However, 435 on the highway, it's not quite doable. So you can count on, you know, high 300s on the highway, at least on the 400 series highways, unless you want to be driving in the right lane behind the semis. Which may not be the safest thing to do. So count on kind of high 300s on the highway. If you want to stretch it beyond 400, then you have to go to the side road and drive below 100 kilometers per hour. Other than that, you know, again, we're going to put it in sport mode and try and launch it. 5 seconds acceleration is not spectacular, but remember, it's a big car. 380 horsepower. It actually feels quicker than that. But it's nowhere near as quick as the Rivian, which is 4.5 seconds. It's a much more expensive vehicle though. The only other competition, again, in this price range, there is no other competition. There is EQS SUV, of course, which is a 3-row SUV, and we showed you that video. Even tighter, 3rd row. There's the Rivian, and there will be a Volvo EX90 3-row SUV. And then eventually also a VinFast VF9. All of them are over 100 grand here in Canada. So this being starting at 65 for all-wheel drive version, 60 for a rear-wheel drive version, and as equipped for 80 is definitely the best deal in our marketplace by far. So this will be, and already is, a very popular full electric SUV. You might have to wait longer for it because of the demand. However, we just went to a Kia dealer to try and charge it, and you can check our Facebook page regarding this. There was a white EV9 sitting in the dealer lot, so you know, check around. If you don't care about the specs, the color, etc., you might find some available. Just like with the Ioniq, and EV6s. If you don't care about the color and the specs, you might find one available at a dealership somewhere in Ontario. So we encourage you to search for it. Take one for a test drive. We really loved our time with it. We think it's a disruptor and definitely best deal for three-row full electric SUVs. You know, Kia will do very well with it. Hyundai will do very well with the Ioniq 7 or 9 or whatever they're gonna call it. And of course, Genesis GV90, when it comes next year based on the same platform, should be also a very popular car. So that's about it. If you have any questions regarding this test, and check our Facebook page. We did a lot of videos and posts about this car this week. But if you have any questions about this test, do not hesitate to comment under our video. We'll be happy to respond. And as usual, do not forget to press the subscribe button on our channel to be informed when the next video is available. We have still lots more pure electric and plug-in hybrid reviews for cars coming in the next few weeks. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.